Hey everyone, and welcome back to Timeless. Today we're going to be playing a cool new Rakdos Scam based deck that has been making the rounds, and I've seen a lot of other people play it. A lot of people play similar variations. There's not really a hammered out 60 or 75 for this yet, so I grabbed a version that looks pretty decent to me, made a couple tweaks to the sideboard. This is your classic Rakdos Scam list, but with some new friends. So, Rakdos Scam is something that people have tried again and again and again in Timeless, and it always falls short because in Timeless, Scam is not a deck. Scam is just a package that you can put into your deck, but it's not enough to win the game by itself. It's not enough to actually build your deck around the Scam interactions. I know a year ago in Modern, both of these two elementals that are in the deck right now were absolutely terrorizing the format, and this was a tier 0 deck, and both of these elementals needed a ban, because in Modern at the time, just slamming a Grief or Fury early was enough to get ahead for the rest of the game. But unfortunately, in Timeless, that is just not the case. All the decks in Timeless can just top deck their way out of getting double Grief scammed. The top two decks in the format right now are a Brainstorm based show and tell deck that can just draw new cards that it needs if it rips a Brainstorm or a Dig Through Time off the top of its library, or Energy, which just has a bunch of redundant and cheap threats that are all 2-for-1s. So it's a real nightmare to try and play Scam into. Now, there's ways to make the Scam package or Scam elementals work in this format. And generally, the way you do that is you just use them as your 0 mana interaction, and then you build a robust midrange or a combo deck around them. So the really good Scam elementals decks in the format right now are both using Grief. There's Esper midrange, which is a Psychic Frog based midrange deck. It's got Diviner Souls, Tamiyo, a bunch of Esper color mid-range cards. And they just use the Scam elementals, and they're also playing Reanimate for Atraxa as a combo finish, so they can also reanimate their elementals. That's fine. Same thing with Sorin Tel. It is a black-white combo deck. Sorin cheats in Saint Elenda. You use Ephemerate and Reanimate to try and cheese Saint Elenda as much as possible, but you could also use that to cheese Solitude and Grief. So some people have applied that mid-range philosophy to the Rakdos version of the deck. Now, we don't have a combo finish in this one, unfortunately. The best thing that we can reanimate is a Fury or an Oliphant over here. But we do have some objectively very powerful cards in the deck. We are propping this deck up with blue, playing cards like Psychic Frog. I also grabbed this version that had Expressive Iteration, because Expressive Iteration is not a card I've played in Timeless in a very long time. I'm curious if this is still good enough. This is a card that warranted, I think, a power level ban in Legacy, if I am not mistaken about this. Oh yeah, it's also banned in Pioneer. This is a card that can get power level banned in formats because this is essentially a 2-mana draw 2 with card selection. It is very strong, but sorcery speed card advantage that doesn't impact the board state is a very tough sell in Timeless right now. The comparison for this would be Up the Beanstalk, which is a card that can just keep drawing cards every single turn. And that is still not good enough. Beans is terrible in Timeless now. It keeps slipping down the power, like the tier list power rankings, right? So I'm curious if this is going to be good enough, if this is the deck that can actually play Expressive Iteration. I think this is still a fine card. There's just no blue-red base deck that really wants it. So we're here with the Rakdos deck splashing blue for the powerful card selections like Brainstorm, Expressive Iteration, and of course Psychic Frog, which is probably the best mid-range threat in the format right now. This is just a screwed up card. Now, the really cool draw to this deck is Detective's Phoenix, which we're going to be playing 3 copies of. This is a Modern Horizons 3 card that kind of slipped under everybody's radar because Modern Horizons 3 cards are kind of busted, and people were looking at the other busted ones when the set first came out. And this one was a bit looked over. So this is a 2-mana 2/2 Phoenix with Flying and Haste for 3 mana. Sure, not impressive, but it's got Collect, Evidence 6, Bestow. So we can bestow it for 1 mana if we collect Evidence 6. Collect Evidence, we just need to exile 6 mana value worth of cards from our graveyard. 6 mana value. All right, we've accomplished that. So this card, I did a test game right before recording, and man, this card was awesome. Flying in Haste, that's 10 power Flying Haste if you throw this thing onto a Fury, if you could imagine that. You evoke your Fury, you reanimate it for 1 mana, and you give it Flying Haste for another mana. And then you suddenly have a 2 mana, 10 power flyer. It's kind of crazy. I also put it on a Psychic Frog. Very valid way to always have this guy have evasion. You could put it on another Goyf and you have a giant scaling threat in the air. This card's really sweet. You could also cast it from your graveyard, which I did. You can use the Bestow ability from your graveyard. Also, Bestow is a bit of a screwed up mechanic where if the creature that this was bestowed onto dies, the Phoenix just comes back and it keeps living on the board. So even if your Fury eats a removal spell that you still get the Detective's Phoenix back. You didn't get 2-for-1 in that scenario like you do with a normal aura. So this is definitely powerful. I definitely think that this is worth trying in the deck. Whether or not this ends up being a meta staple in Timeless, I can't say just yet. But the initial interactions that I've seen with this card and my initial feeling is that this card is actually really, really sweet in this deck. And if you want to build like a Grixis Death Shadow style deck, I know this is pretty much like Shadow the Shadow, if you could think of it that way. Maybe we could squeeze Shadow into the deck somehow. But if you want to build like a, Grixis color aggro deck, something that's got big stupid creatures like Nethergoyf, Death Shadow, big frogs, scam elementals, that yeah, this is a great way to get those actually cracking in for lethal. Other than that, the deck construction is pretty standard. We just got good cards, normal fetch land mana base, plus Oliphant. So we're only running 19 lands right now. 21 with Oliphant. 21 lands is fine when we're playing a Brainstorm deck. We don't actually need to cast 4 and 5 drops. We really just need 1 mana for our Reanimate, and that is good enough by me. Sideboard. We got 3 Fatal Pushes and 3 Cinderclasms for the energy matchup. Oh man, this is going to be Pyroclasm very soon. That's going to be sweet. So we'll go from costing 3 mana to costing only 2. That'll be awesome. For Graveyard Hate, we have 2 Surgicals and 1 Stone of a Wretch over here. Yeah, the standard stuff. Stone of a Wretch is just a good way to hate on dice triggers. It does randomly turn off a couple of things in the format. It does become relevant. We've got Stubborn Denial here. So in the vein of your classic Grixis Death Shadow style deck, we do have the ability to run Stubborn Denial to protect our giant creatures if our opponents are going to bring in counter spells. Nethergoyf, Grief, and Fury are all good ways to trigger it. Though Grief and Fury, I guess, do need the power buff in order to trigger that. Power buff from a Phoenix, or the non-existent 1/1 counter from our scam effects. We don't have the traditional scam effects in this deck because we're not all the way in on it, but you could maybe, if you want to rebuild this deck, play Not Dead After All in it. That'd be another way to turn on your Stubby. And lastly, we just have Thoughtseizes for extra hand hate. We are playing 4 Griefs, but against combo decks, we are definitely going to want to play even more discard. I think that's it for me. Let's go ahead and see how this deck does in gameplay. All right, game 1 with what you might want to call Shadowless Shadow, might want to call Rakdos Scam with some blue in it. We have a hand that honestly seems pretty mid. Right, this is mid. This just presents Nethergoyf, so it doesn't grow the Nethergoyf. It does interact with my opponent if I do want to pitch something to the Grief. I don't have enough games on this deck yet to know whether or not this is decisively a mulligan. I think it might be. This Phoenix isn't getting anywhere, but the thing is, if I pitch Grief, the Phoenix starts to get somewhere, because then what, 4 out of 6 evidence to have been collected? I'm going to keep this. I don't know if this is necessarily a great keep, but it's at least a hand with a bunch of threats in it. And pretty much everything in my deck that's not a threat is card draw or removal. Okay, we get to Scam Grief, turn 1. Look at that. Would I rather have an extra Goyf or a Bowmasters? I think since there's 0 card types in my graveyard and there's not gonna be too many more, right? We're really only gonna get the sorcery in there and then a land, so it's only a 2/3. I think we can get rid of a Goyf. I'll take my opportunity to Grief Scam my opponent while they're showing me blue mana over here. And here, if they brainstorm in response and hide all of their good cards, we could just wait on reanimating until next turn and just play another Goyf. Yeah, looks like they're show and tell gaming here. Oh, Stifle Me. Hey. I wanted to grief you. Thank you. Oh, what you got there? Assemble the team? Is this the Hitotoni special version of show and tell, playing Stifles? This isn't Hitotoni, though. You're not allowed to build your deck like this. Unfortunately, they do snap off that Brainstorm sorcery speed before we can throw down a Bowmasters. Expressive Iteration, that's a fantastic draw for next turn. This turn, we're just going to want to play Bowmasters out. Hopefully we can catch them in the act of another Brainstorm. So they had an Assemble and an Atraxa in their hand. I don't know whether or not they actually kept both of those cards. They're almost definitely keeping Assemble in their hand, but I don't know about Atraxa. Right, on your end step, I will go ahead and throw Bowmasters at you. I'm getting stifled? No! Oh, we knew they had second stifle too, huh? Right. Do I want to fetch main phase to play around more stifle effects? Probably not. I'll just do the same thing. We'll Bowmasters on their end step. It's a little unfortunate to get stone rained here, but it's not truly the end of the world. Are you gonna brainstorm or what here? Oh no, they're gonna dig. I think if you're digging right now, actually, let me let you resolve the dig first. Put your cards into your hand. And once you've made that decision, I'd like to play Bowmasters out. Of course, they could just have like Omni-Tell here and murder us, but it's just how Timeless rolls sometimes, right? We're looking somewhat close to killing them. They're going to go down to 3 HP, so we have lethal bolt draws. Could we haste up another Goyf as well? Maybe. Alright, looks like my opponent might win here. Depends on what their follow-up cards are, but we knew they at least have like an assembled a team that they haven't fired off yet, so it seems pretty likely that they're going to get there. Yeah, I'll just let them cast their tutor or whatever. Yep, you got it. Alright, so against Show and Tell Gaming, we are relying on being a grief deck to beat them. So we can go ahead and take out these Furies probably, and then play Cool Stubs. And then do we want to take out, for example, Bolts to play even more Stubs? That seems like a pretty good idea. And then we run it back like this. We don't really need Fury. We don't really need red removal. Yeah, this seems pretty good to me. I am a little concerned about the lack of show and tell sideboard cards. I mean, I built the sideboard myself. I took the deck and I looked and I built the sideboard for it. Because I usually build those myself even when I copy other people's decks list. I think I might have needed more show and tell cards in it. Oh, right. Play first? No, right? This is going to take forever to actually do anything this hand. We're going to go ahead and mulligan here. Sure. Thoughtseize you turn one, and then hopefully get somewhere. This hand also takes a while to do anything, but at least this interacts with the show and tell deck twice, so I will take it. Am I supposed to Thoughtseize them? Just turn one, just jam it? Or should I wait a turn? I think I'm actually going to wait a turn. I'm going to Surveil. If my opponent dares stifle me, then I'll be mad about it. Oh, Tamiyo in show and tell. Alright, my opponent's cooking. Hold on, we need to play all 3 games of this best of 3 so I can understand what they're cooking. Because they're certainly, like, cooking something here. I'd actually love a Bowmasters here, right? I would absolutely love a Bowmasters here. Because they're going to be very incentivized to try and flip that Tamiyo. I can't Thoughtseize and Bowmasters in the same turn cycle, though, which is frustrating. I'd like to flash Bowmasters here. I don't think my opponent is going to have, like, Dark Ritual into Show and Tell on turn 2 if they're also, like, trying to play Tamiyo in their deck and be more mid-rangey. This is a very cool idea, though, to throw Tamiyo into the Show and Tell deck. I wonder if they're playing, like, even more mid-range threats? Or they're just playing her. This is so weird. Cool, kind of weird. Are you gonna stifle me or what, buddy? Okay. I guess we can go ahead and grab probably a basic here. And then I'll attempt to resolve Bowmasters. And then I will untap Thoughtseize them. If we get lucky and draw Reanimate, then we can like Grief Pitch Thoughtseize them, Reanimate it. That's a very much an if. And a drain, you got it. Alright, ooh, stubby. Unfortunately, it's going to be tough to actually make the stub work. Oh, Jesus. I think I take DT. Veil's tough. Let me think about what I take. I can take Veil this turn, and then I grief them next turn. How bad's it going to be if I let them DT? They're getting 2 mana next turn. If they draw a land, DT show and tell track, so then I stub the DT. I think I'm supposed to take Veil this turn, and then next turn I grief them to take whatever they tutored for. I think. I'm not sure about this. So the best possible play they can have is like draw land, GT show and tell, throw a Traxa into play. I don't think my opponent's going to do that, but if they do try to do it, we could stubby it. Because this is turned on. Well, not turned on, but if they spend every single last one of their mana, it will work. Oh, you're gonna do it? No, you're just gonna pop a clue. Sure. Sorry. We could EI here. Actually, EI would let me keep up step, but I do want to just grief check him, I think, and then EI next turn. This is tough, because I could always find a black card with the EI to pitch the grief. But I think hardcasting grief is fine. They aren't going to have a 1-mana card to counter the grief. They might have Stifle, but they would have had to tutor for Stifle or actually draw it, and they're never going to tutor for Stifle, so kind of have a 1-outer here. Okay, they drew another Veil. Oh, they tutored for another Veil. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, I think my opponent wins here. If they tutored for Veil, very smart. Wait, that's actually so smart if they did that. If they got lucky and drew it and they tutored for Show and Tell, then But tutor for Veil of Summer after I discard Veil of Summer is like very disciplined. My opponent gonna win here? I think I lose no matter what, right? Do I have a way to remove this Traxa? I took my Furies out of the deck. Alright, let's go with no. Alright, GG opponent. Alright, we're going to be on the draw here against no companion, so that usually indicates some sort of unfair deck. We have a grief to go ahead and take a look at that hand. So we'll go ahead and keep this. We can brainstorm to set up our grief, finding another black card, hopefully finding a reanimate too. That would be the dream. The unfortunate bit is that I have my 2 blood crypts and a blue fetch here, so I can't brainstorm and then fetch, which is a little tough. Looks like we're against Shift and Tell, which is cool. Alright, we do want to grief check him. Oh, there we go. That's another blue fetch. So I don't feel the need to turn 0 them because they don't have a way to cast Show and Tell next turn. Even if they did, I would just put grief into play, because this isn't a blue source. Their deck does have the ability to start the game blue source plus Ugin's Labyrinth and then just jam their I win card on turn 2. Ah, Chalice on 1. Fine. I grab a Watery Grave. I brainstorm. I don't mind if we keep losing these games. People are playing like interesting variants. So now we're looking at Chalice. We're gonna have to draw one of these cards, unfortunately. Yeah, now we're looking at... Oh, wait, we can pitch this to grief. Okay, we're chilling. We're chilling, guys. I'm going to grab a Steam Vents here. And then I'm going to grief you. Shouldn't have shocked that right away. I just didn't want to forget and then end up drawing a 0-drop I can't use. Alright, Ugin's Binding. I want that to stay in their hand. This is tough, man. I will take the card Show and Tell, but this might get sticky. Alright, cash grab. Yeah, milling over the typical Shift and Tell stuff. Bowmaster's coming through. And then here we can hopefully EI into an answer and not EI into 3 1-drops. That would be really sad. Oh, it's a 1-drop. I guess we're just gonna like... Oh, this sucks, man. I don't even get a land drop off of this. I guess I let Reanimate die in exile, right? So I put Bowmaster into my hand. Fury into my library. And then Reanimate in exile. And then we can maybe cast Reanimate just for cards in graveyard? No, then I would have to shock. If I had mana just free, I would probably do that. Good old Chalice, getting lots of value here. Good news is that we're just have like 2 creatures with flash, so if my opponent Ugins Binding me, it's not the end of the world, because I can just replay all of my threats. But my opponent's very close to getting Shifting Woodland online. Alright, I think we're gonna just throw this Bowmasters down. Get as much damage in as we can. But it hasn't quite put together the Omnitel thing. No Omnisciences in graveyards yet. Here they can bounce one of my creatures, but that won't be too much. Extra mana, why? You're gonna copy like Emrakul and attack me with it? Oh shit, you are, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm dead, aren't I? You can block, but Emrakul's got Lample. You can just Lample over me. Alright. GG to Shift and Tell Gaming. So against them, we do have their Kryptonite, aka Surgical Extraction, and then we can take out those. Stone Overrush is technically a card that hates on them. This is not great against their deck, but I have to take every bit of graveyard hate that I can get against this deck, I think. This card's really sweet against energy, though, I've discovered lately. It like prevents a Johnny from flipping, gets rid of their lowest value. You always cycle it if you don't need it. That's why I kind of like it right now. Do I want Stubby? I mean, are you playing counter spells? No, I don't think I want Stubby then. Is it still better than Bolts? I think the Stubbies might be better than Bolts, no matter what, though. I need to rethink this deck construction a little bit. Maybe Stubborn Denial is really not the play. I saw someone else with it, and I'm like, yeah, this is the play, but it'll probably be a more pointed sideboard card. Okay. Yeah, this is a hand that puts the pressure on. Let's keep it. Yeah, we're just gonna jam threat. First 2 turns. If they Chalice and I can't use Stubby, I'm gonna be very upset about it. But that's life. So jam Goyf, next turn jam Frog, turn after probably jam another Goyf. And then hold up Permission. Thankfully. No shot you have it. I saw him hover the land like they were gonna fetch. Oh my god. I don't be a loose just playing everything in my first main phase and slamming cards. We're chilling here. I would think it doesn't matter against Shift and Tell, but I'm ready to be proven wrong. Finding a third path, yeah. It'll work. Alright. Ooh, we can brainstorm here. I think I might just be most interested in just jamming cards, though. Throw a Glyph down. Or I can EI right now. I think I'm gonna jam Glyph, make my land drop. I can always brainstorm on their end step and then shuffle. I know not the best use of brainstorm according to the brainstorm gamers. But I would like to stubborn or brainstorm here. I'm gonna leave myself with that option. I can actually do both. Brainstorm, then fetch. My decisions on what I'm brainstorming is going to be pretty influenced by what they're doing. I could, of course, just wait until my next turn to brainstorm like a normal human being. The Rumble is coming through. I'd love to Stubborn Denial that, but I don't think I can. I could, like, pitch a bunch of cards to Psychic Frog to try to get there. I don't think I can just yet. Alright, if they try to jam a show and tell here, we can't stub it, which is good. Yeah, I think we're gonna go for the brainstorm here. I know, he's end step brainstorm gaming. Flame him. I can probably put back one of these Ollie fonts, and then one of the EIs. It's gonna be really awkward to weave in 2 copies of both of these cards. And then I'll surveil here. Go ahead and grab blue-black surveil. Oh, Thoughtseize. Fantastic. I'm happy to have that card. My turn. So here I'm going to cycle my Oliphant. Probably another Blood Crypt. Yeah, because I'm going to Stubborn Denial or Bowmasters here, so let's get your hand. And then with this, actually, we do have Stubborn activated off of the Netherglyph, which is fantastic. I will Stubborn here instead. Oh, they can pay with their silly thingamajiggy, their spawn. Forgot about that. Crap, I could have discarded a card to make it work, too. My bad. If I discarded EI to Meglyph, it would have worked. Maybe I can get lucky and just draw another stub off the top, because that's me, because I'm lucky. Nope. Well, I had the wrong mana. Alright, so what I should have done there is, well, first, realize my opponent wasn't actually tapped out. Now we lose. You got a Bowmasters. But they do need to, like, win here. Not guaranteed that they can win. Just kidding. It's probably guaranteed that they can win. Alright. We'll go ahead and scoop it up. Alright, I decided to change the sideboard a bit. So, one, we need to show a little bit more respect to the top deck in the format. And two, I found it very awkward, the fact that we have Fury and Lightning Bolt. These are 8 cards that really should come out versus unfair decks. It's creature removal. You can keep Lightning Bolt in as burn, but that's really not ideal. I'd like to have proper sideboard cards against those decks. So I took out a Fatal Push and also took out the Stubborn Denials because, in my opinion, this deck is pretty tap out. I don't necessarily want to keep the blue mana up for Stubborn. I'd rather proactively just have extra copies of Thoughtseize, extra copies of Duress. So now when we're up against unfair decks, what we could do is we could just bring in all 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Duress, and also some Surgicals, 1 up to 3 Surgicals as well, just because there's a lot of graveyard combo running around lately. And yeah, I think this is going to be a lot better. I think that being a Fury deck, we are pretty decent against creatures in game 1, and we don't need to do crazy. Actually, you know, instead of 1 surgical, I think I'm going to do just a needle. Or how about a flute? You know what, flute? Let's go with flute here. Just to have another catch-all answer to a couple of different things. 3 surgicals does seem a little bit of excessive. I'm questioning whether or not Stoner Wretch should be a thing. I think it's going to be fine because up against energy gaming, we're going to want to take out the Griefs. And what else did we take out last time against energy gaming? I'm trying to remember. I think some of the EIs. Yeah, we got Griefs and EIs for Fatal Push, Cinderclasm, and then 1 a Wretch. That's 6 cards. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I like this sideboard a bit better. All right, we're going to be on the play against Giganta over here. So that usually means energy with Flage. Go ahead and keep this one. This has a early threat, interacts, and then has some card draw. Then we can start with Blood Crypt because we can do both of our early plays off of it. Next turn we can go ahead and grab a Surveillant to fix our next draw, and the turn after that we're going to EI if we don't draw anything too relevant. Forest? Hey, you're supposed to be playing Energy. Calm down. Ah, a similar deck. Cool. Basic Forest though, interesting. I didn't realize Basic Forest was legal in Timeless. I haven't seen it in about a month. Alright, after losing enough games, Wizards has decided to put us in the Basic Forest elo. I'm going to actually Surveil main phase here, just to get a bit more damage with my Netherglyph. Yeah, I don't want that. Alright, so we get 1 bit of chip damage in. Could be Naya Energy, I've seen people do it before. Especially a Primal Prayers combo, it's a thing. But Oliphant is weird. It implies you're in black. Ooh. This is probably some sort of fun combo deck that I'm not realizing right now. I'm going to bolt them to save my Glyph. Because I think we're going to be on the beatdown here if they're doing something funny. Some sort of funny combo gaming. Really have no clue what they're up to, though. Ooh. A reanimate. I don't have anything to reanimate. I mean, I could reanimate their thing. Yeah, that makes sense. So hand, library exile. Let me hit them for 3. No reason to brainstorm on their end step without a fetch effect. Oh, what are you cooking? Holy crap. They're cooking. incongruity. The hell is going on? I'd love to know what this is. It's certainly something. Oh, you know what? They're probably... No, they can't be cascading. Right? We could have the 2-drop that cascades, I guess. That's so strange. I wish I had a way to look at their hand. I might just reanimate Oliphant here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be up to right now. I'm going to brainstorm first, though. See if I can get, like, a grief or something. No grief. No grief, no dice. But what I will keep is a fetch land, where I can get a basic swamp. We'll be getting basic swamp. I will be bowmastering this pre-combat so they don't chump with it. I know they're just going to sacrifice it to prevent me from getting my token, but I'd rather get my Goyf damage in. And I already have a sorcery in the bin, right? Yeah, so I don't need to do this before combat. And then I would like your big fatty. So next turn we should be able to attack for lethal even if they throw a blocker or two out. I'm very curious what they're playing. My guess was Primal Prayers, but I think that's wrong now. What the heck is going on? We're Rumble. Flage? Okay, sure. It's a Flage. Oh yeah, shit, we are cascading. They're gonna get some rhinos. Yeah, look at that. Do I get like a medal or a sticker or something for being right on what they were playing? Okay, what's cool here is we can actually just get rid of all the rhinos. Unfortunate for my opponent, I do have the answers. So Fury number 1 is going to kill our rhino, and then Fury number 2 is also going to kill our rhino. Sorry, opponent. Very cool deck, though. Very cool. I kind of want to try something. This is so bad. It's the kind of deck that I see it. It's bad, but it's unique. So I'm like, oh my god, I gotta try it. This card's very cool. I was trying to make him work a couple months ago. Yeah, you know, you could cascade into rhinos, but that required like 7 turns of setup from my opponent. This is a really cool card to enable Delirium, by the way. Very cool. Okay, so what do we want here? So what do we want? I want Stone of Wretch. Do I want... I wish I had active Graveyard Hate. That would be good. Ah, Cascade Hate. Right. I remember when Disruptor Fluke got printed, everybody said this is Cascade Hate because you cast it in response to them Bloodbraid Maraudering, and then they can't hit their Cascade spell. That's funny. It's going to be relevant here. So my opponent isn't really going to play too many creatures beyond their combo piece, right? So I'm thinking of like taking the Bolts and or the Furies out. I don't want to cut all my red cards because then I can't even evoke the Fury. So maybe something like this. Something like this. Do I want just Thought Seizes? I don't want to overboard for them because I do need to put the beat down on, but I don't think Fury Bolts are really going to get us anywhere. I think we're supposed to sideboard like this. This seems maybe a little overboard, but their deck's so damn slow. If I can like Surgical Flage, they probably just lose. But now I can't clean up the silly rhinos on the board. I think I could take a push to help with cleaning up silly rhinos on the board. And play 2 less Thoughtseize. Let's try... No. Thoughtseize is in. Okay. That was 2 minutes of me debating over nothing. Okay, we can reanimate Oliphant pretty early. We can also grief them if I feel like some nonsense bullshit's gonna be going on. Go ahead and keep this. I think I start on turn 1 Goyf and then turn 2 we land cycle reanimate. I can also just grief reanimate grief, of course. It's probably better, right? Grief pitch Bowmasters, reanimate grief. It's hard to say no to that, right? Even though I want this faster clock here. What you got there? Definitely gonna take Rumble. Yeah, just take Rumble Twin Shot, and then they're kind of just spinning their wheels. Alright, my opponent may spin their wheels. Incubation has been cast. Rare card. Okay, hold on, let me show the whole card for the video. Rare card from Ravnica Allegiance. Very rare. Ooh, we get Detectives Phoenix. Holy shit. They did grab Bloodbraid Marauder, which is kind of wild. Grab Blood Crypt. Do they have Delirium? Artifact, that counts as instant and sorcery, right? Oh god, they're there. Okay. So they're gonna have Rhinos, but what's really cool is we get Detectives Phoenix coming up. By coming up, I mean like right now. I think I want to play Goyf first, and then next turn we'll bestow a Phoenix. This is scary, though. Not gonna lie. Looks like the jank is working. Here we go. The jank is working, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so here I'm probably just gonna Detectives Phoenix. Animate this as a blocker. Yeah, I think so. I think that's the play. And then I will probably land cycle my other Oliphant coming up. You shall be a blocker. Oh wait, you're only a 3/4. Oh, because we lost a creature type. Yeah, we're gonna get it back though. Yeah, we're gonna blow them out. Blow them out. Hopefully they don't realize I could get a card type back in the graveyard. You can also do something funny like Besiege my Phoenix and make me upset. Alright, I'm gonna block to the best of my ability here. Opponent can like Besiege my Phoenix, which wouldn't be great. Yeah, they will. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and resolve that. Gonna land cycle first. Just need to put another card type into the graveyard, which shouldn't be too crazy hard. Because then we end up with enchantment in the graveyard. I can go ahead and grab a Surveil land here to try to put a card type into the graveyard, and then we get another Surveil land to try again to put another card type into the graveyard. Sorcery, we already have one there, right? Yeah, but we're gonna try, right? Like to fetch, please. Thank you. So if we hit like an instant or something, oh, we had no lands in the graveyard, huh? Okay, I learned. So my guy's gonna live. I don't want to draw an island. Nice. I have a big chunky blocker here. I'd like to draw another threat so that I can Phoenix haste it up. Let's go ahead and EI. Ugh, I don't want any of this garbage. Yeah, I don't want any of this. I don't want to cast Lutzies when I'm at 7. So what am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing? And Library Exile? Yuck. Can I reese my opponent in any way by casting this Phoenix? I do not think so. I think I could play Polluted Delta and be mad that I have to block. I have a lot of good draws in my deck to get me somewhere. Amped Raptor, nice. What? No! Cheater! He stacked his deck, Judge! Judge! My opponent stacked his deck. I have proof. Alright. What are we doing? Do I want my Furies and pushes to deal with these rhinos? I feel like the way to interact with it might be just the thought sees it, but maybe not. I do feel a little goofy having no reactive interaction, but we're going to be going first here. I think this is going to be fine. We got turn one, Thoughtseize or Goyf. Probably lead with the Goyf, follow it up with a Thoughtseize so that we can get a scaling threat turning sideways as soon as possible. Oh yeah, that's suspended. Gonna go ahead and Thoughtseize you. Let's see what's going on over there. Rumbles, Helices, Phlages, yikes. I think we take Rumble. And I will go ahead and grab a Surveil land here. Go on a Surveil at sorcery speed to maybe get more damage, maybe save my Goyf from a Lightning Helix. That seems like a fine idea. Let's get blue. And that will be a creature in the bin to indeed save my guy from Lightning Helix. How many turns on that? 3? Yikes. That's sooner than I would think, but hopefully Detective's Phoenix can help us get over the top, because we're going to be able to fly out our another Goyf. We can also get Hasty Bowmasters. I'm going to put it on the Goyf, though, because it needs to be big to dodge red removal. Instant Sorcery. They can get a land. They cannot get a land into the graveyard. They can get a creature into the graveyard with Phlage soon. Oh, they can get an artifact creature. Oh, that's not good. Oh, this is still not good. But what I could do is I can reanimate Oliphant. Reanimate Oliphant, I do not have enough evidence anymore. I think my best line is they could discard Twin Shot, and then they have it, right? So I think my best line is going to involve hasting up the big Goyf. Making a big boy over here. A big healthy boy. What I could also do is just like EI try to hit a Thoughtseize. That's a bit of a Hail Mary. I'm going to... Well, I Thoughtseize are a grief, right? Yeah, I can always Phoenix after EI, so let's do it this way. Yeah, so I'll put this one into exile. Take a Bowmasters, I guess. I guess Reanimate also has a lot of text, but I only have so much life and I already have one in hand. Got Basic Mountain here. Oh, no Basic Mountain to be found in this deck. We will be paying some life for a Blood Crypt. Beasting up our boy. Collecting some evidence. Yeah, we lose a card type in graveyard for this, unfortunately. But this is still going to net. No, wait! I screwed up because now they get the thoughts that they get to Helix me. Just kidding, they didn't have white mana. I was screwed up, guys. Yeah, they twin shot me, and then they get to untap Marauder. I'm stealing this deck. Their deck's so cool. Yeah, Marauder goes. They get to hit Footfalls. Nice, nice. Okay, then here, I think I'm just gonna Bowmasters hit this. Nether Goyf? Yeah. I guess that's the play. I don't feel super enthusiastic about the play, but this is probably the play. Alright. Then we will turn a Goyf sideways. So can we kill next turn? Do I have bolts in? Nope. I should have had bolts in the deck, right? A hearse? Yep. Oh no, shrink my Goyfs? That's not good. I need those Goyfs to have power and toughness, man. You can't do this to me. Alright, there might be hope. There might be hope against hope that we could pull this game out, but it's not too likely. Because if they like attack with everything, it still really won't work. I'm gonna block here with my Bowmasters to get another card type in the bin, even though that card type's just gonna go away to this hearse. It's good to at least tax my opponent. I think we lose every time here, unfortunately. And then, oh yeah, right, the Helix me, not even my glyph. Brain fart. Yeah, I think I know what deck I'm gonna build next. Their deck looks cool. I don't know if it's good, but I'm so glad this worked for them. I gotta try this, okay? Oh, I totally gotta try this. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna post about this on Discord, see if anybody else has seen this deck. Join my Discord if you want to make wacky decks like this one. All right, let's do one more game. We can't end a video 03. We have to at least try to make it 04 so that I can get laughed at in the comments. On the play. Cool. So we can cycle Oliphant, reanimate it, or we can wait for a black card to grief reanimate. I think what I should do, we should keep this. I think I'm going to surveil on my first turn, see if I can find another black card for grief. If not, we can untap, cycle Oliphant, then reanimate it. All right, let's go ahead and grab some sewers here. Black card for grief, please. That's not a black card. All right, okay, we can go ahead and cycle this then. Cycle you, we'll grab a Blood Crypt here and then reanimate you. All right. I'm not going to put them on main deck 1-mana Graveyard Hate, also, or main deck Spell Pierce. I mean, they certainly could have something like that. Okay, good, they don't. What's cool about Oliphant is that it lines up really well against the removal of the format, right? There's lots of lightning bolts running around doing 3 damage. There's lots of fatal pushes running around, hitting creatures under a mana value. But here, my opponent does need to wait until I get 6 cards in the graveyard to drown it in a lock. It could be running like their Shieldred's Edict or whatever, you know. I don't put anything past the Demir Tempo gamers anymore. I'm just gonna go ahead and surveil here, probably Bolt Face or Bolt whatever threat they play. Oh, it's not a Demir Tempo gamer, it's a Show and Tell gamer. Oh crap, I would have griefed them. I don't know why I saw Undercity Sewers and I'm like, ah, Psychic Frog incoming. Alright, Bolt you. Okay, then I'm going to surveil. I'd love a black card so that I can, like, pitch grief and then hard cast him as well. You're not relevant against Show and Tell. Alright, we have our cool new sideboard to try the Show and Tell matchup one more time. And that's a black card. Great. I'm going to start, I think, with the hard cast one. Main deck Veil of Summer would kind of sting right here. But then my opponent would literally have to win next turn. And I would be able to grief off of Show and Tell to hopefully take their payoff. Oh, what you got there? Okay, you need to draw the card Show and Tell. I think I take their Atraxa here because then their hand doesn't go anywhere. Their hand still goes somewhere. They have to literally draw Show and Tell here. I think Born. That's one less draw for them. The thing is, if they draw Show and Tell, I do get to look at their hand. Oh, but then I want to take Born. Yeah, I want to take Born in that case. Okay. I take Born because it's one less draw at them actually spiking the card they need to win. And also, when they actually cast Show and Tell next turn, if they get lucky and draw it, they can't Born in response to my grief trigger and win with the grief trigger on the stack. I actually do get to grief them, which should be enough, right? They cast the Omnitel thing, I grief Atraxa, and they have to get very lucky drawing off a Lorien after also getting lucky drawing their namesake card. Hey, what are you doing? Are they going to Lorien? Ritual Lorien, try to win? Oh, assemble, cool. Oh, yeah, but you don't have proper mana. Oh, there's your show and tell, but I do get to take the Atraxa from them. So they do get draws off of Lorien revealed. They can get lucky again. But it's going to be a bit harder. Because, like, even if they hit Fave, which is here, they also need to hit, like, a draw 7 or a dig 7 effect to actually win the game. Brainstorm, yeah. Yeah. Mystic Sanctuary back on top. What are we putting on top? Probably Lorien? No, Assemble? Oh my god, are they going to do it? Oh, I'm going to be mad. This is a game we should have won. Born draw that. No, I think they have it with 2 tutors. Dang. Very close. Well, unfortunately, our opponent gets to do some Omnitel gaming. I'm still gonna make them do it because it's possible they screw it up, I think. Approach, tutor approach. Bleh. Okay, we have the new and improved sideboard. We have the technology. We can take out all of the red cards in the deck. You know, another reason why Rakdos Scam doesn't work here, works in Modern, is that, like, you know, every deck in Modern plays creatures, even the combo decks. This thing, what is Fury supposed to do here? Oh, I can't even kill Atraxa. At least you could Solitude in Atraxa. All right, Surge, Duress. So we play all of this shit. You can also probably Disruptor Flute, naming Show and Tell to buy a little time. I like that. Okay, we got a Psychic Frog hand. So hopefully Psychic Frog can carry this deck and show why it's so busted. We don't have interaction, but Psychic Frog can probably get us there. Actually, wait, we're supposed to mulligan this if we don't have interaction. Throw it back. We need something. I will keep Double Brainstorm, though. I'll put the Phoenix back, too, sadly. Double Brainstorm is very likely to find something in the name of interaction, so I will go ahead and keep this. It's very likely for us to brainstorm into a Thoughtseize next turn or something along those lines. Let me go ahead and get a blue Surveil. Grief, yep. I do need a black card to go with him. But we can dig deep with our brainstorms. Grief, pitch grief? I guess that's what it's gonna have to be, right? I'm gonna surveil now, just get a little info on what's on top of my library. See if there's like a reanimate or something hiding there. I have to grief them no matter what, though, here, I think. They are playing like a Dark Ritual version of Show and Tell, so they can win next turn. Yeah, that goes in the graveyard. I would have just land cycled it anyway next turn. Hopefully we can EI into a reanimate or something pretty lucky next turn. Or maybe we can hit a namesake card here and then EI into a surgical. Definitely have lines to win. I just feel very unfavored right now. They have their own surgical, and they're going to surgical my grief. Yucky. I mean, that's just life. I think we take the namesake card, show and tell here. And my opponent can have fun surgicaling away my main discard spell. All right. Oh, hey. Crap. They're holding surgical. What the hell? It's like they knew I was going to try reanimate. I'm kidding, of course. There's no way they would have known. But yikes. I think I'm going to begin with an EI. Thoughtseize. Fantastic. And a frog to hand. Okay, cool. So frog to hand. Thoughtseize to exile. I like this. I like it. I like it. I like it. I get to take a look at that hand. Yeah, I need them to use this surgical before I reanimate, but I guess they're just going to be patient with it. think my opponent's thinking about whether or not they should surgical right now, as opposed to later. Because I might thought seize the surgical. I'm not gonna thought seize surgical, by the way. Oh, maybe I should. Because then I'm like clean and free to reanimate next turn. Because they're thinking about it, I'm thinking about it, right? Uh, yeah, I think because they'd have to get very lucky and draw the card show and tell at the top of the library. I think we're gonna take the surgical here, and then next turn we can reanimate our grief and get another discard anyway. Is that loose? Guys, are we loose right now? How loose are we? I'll take it. Your turn, opponent. If you drew the card show and tell, I'm gonna be very mad. I'm gonna be very mad about that. Alright, I think my opponent might have DC'd. I'll take my time brainstorming. Maybe they'll come back. Because if they don't come back by the time this brainstorm's off the stack, then it'll be a scoop for me. Or a scoop in my favor. Okay, a little disingenuous on that win, to be honest. I mean, we didn't 0-4 embarrass ourselves in this video, but we got a lucky disconnect in our favor. So, what did we learn today, guys? Let's think about it. Let's think about scam critically. What did we learn? We learned that Fury scam is not quite great and timeless. In fact, scamming a Fury really doesn't get you there. And sometimes scamming a Grief against a combo deck, they still just do their combo. But did we actually learn that today, or did we learn that 2 months ago? I think we learned that 2 months ago, and then we made the same mistake. I saw Psychic Frog, and I said, "Yeah, let's run this down." Um, I don't think this deck is atrocious. Like, yeah, we got some tough matchups in Show and Tell, and yeah, they high rolled on us a little bit. And okay, that Cascade deck kicked our ass. I don't think this is the worst deck I've ever seen. This is fine. This is probably better than just making straight Rakdos scam. I think adding really powerful mid-range cards like Psychic Frog and Nethergoyf, and then backing that up with blue card selection is a really good idea. Expressive Iteration did unfortunately feel clunky pretty often. I hate to admit it, but maybe this card still really doesn't have a home in Timeless. It's just a messed up powerful card, though. It's got to have a home somewhere. Detectives Phoenix, I don't think it did much in the videos, but when I was playing before the video, it did do a lot, and like I was so impressed with it. I do think we low rolled a little bit in the video, but I also still don't think this deck is great. Is it fringe competitive? Probably. It's probably a bit better than running regular Rakdos Scam. It would be like tier 3, maybe tier 3, 4 on my tier list. Like, it's not the worst thing that you could ever play, but like if you don't have most of these cards already, I would not recommend going out of your way to craft this. But if you crafted Rakdos Scam and you're only missing 1 or 2 cards to actually make this deck work, then you can go ahead and see if you have some fun with this. Would I make any changes? I mean, I've seen other people post different 75s. I've seen people not play EI, so maybe the first step is to like take that EI out. Maybe we play like Molten Collapse. Molten Collapse. This card's quite good. In that 2-drop slot, have some removal. But now we're having more removal in a deck where I already said, Fury, maybe not the best. Maybe too many removal spells. Maybe we main deck Thought Seizes if we're main decking Bolt, but then we have the problem of red card count for Fury because it's already pretty low. That's part of why we have Oliphant here. Yeah, if you want to work on this deck, you can definitely hop in the Discord and some other people will probably help you work on it. I do think there's at least something here. I don't think it's great, but Detectives Phoenix did overperform in my testing before the video, and scamming a grief does get you there sometimes, and got some powerful blue cards in the deck, so I hope that maybe somebody can turn this deck into something good. Maybe a better pilot could play it a little bit better than I did, but at least my impression right now, not great.